because of Back to the Future.
I was 7 years old when the first movie came out, and it definitely left its mark, that's for sure. I'll never forget seeing that car back out of the truck, and it was just, I was enamored with it. I loved it. I built this car with one of my best friends in the world, Sean Bishop, and he had built the Ghostbusters car a few years previous. And I said, boy, you know, someday it'd be really great to do the DeLorean from Back to the Future. It's my all-time favorite movie car. And he said, well, I've always wanted it. And we ended up going in together. We planned it for a couple years, and eventually we said, all right, well, there's enough money in the bank account now that we should probably start doing it. And bought the car in Arizona, found it on the internet, believe it or not, and flew out with my girlfriend one Saturday morning, bought the car, and drove it back. First, the maiden voyage was like 500 miles, and it made it no problem. Only had 13 miles on our time. We actually built the car in about 4 or 5 months one Sunday afternoons at my friend Sean's shop. And the reception is so incredibly positive. You know, Robert Zemeckis just heard about it, and he asked us to bring it down to the set of he was working on, and Bob Gale was there. You know, we just kind of wanted to do it for us, and the fact that it puts a smile on everyone else's face is a huge reward. It's just like the film where off and the whole thing there.
It's a really kind of strange deja vu because it's so authentically done. You know, I have certain vivid images of parts, you know, that when it was built, there were certain, you know, just oddball things. It was kludged together, obviously, because Doc Brown was, you know, inventing this thing out of any pieces he could find. So I remember very specific things, you know, the switch inside, you know, the fins and the exhaust ports and all that stuff. But even just like the capacitors and weird things that have been so carefully, you know, reconstructed.
We used actual capacitors, and these are original hoses by the same guy that made them that were on the car. I mean, these are from like a solar turbine or something ridiculous. And all these parts were found at surplus yards, and there's a Janitrol heater, and these are oil separator tanks from fighter jets, and you know, different heat sinks, and there's an ammo box in there somewhere that just doesn't fit in at all, but it's what they used, you know. And then of course you have the Mr. Fusion, and that's it's a Krupp's coffee grinder from the 80s.
I have to say it's been so faithfully done that it's you know, it's a monument to how much a film can touch people, and somebody takes the time to capture a bit of film history is really commendable, I think.
Listen,